I'm walking niggas down with that 4 pound when they go down on that Pakistan chop and knock his forehead to the low ground. Deadly when I'm birth, blood spreading through the turf. But it's a lot of niggas there was out here fucking up that work. Fucking over niggas' money, playing crazy like you can't be touched. Mobile gas station, drop the window when I broke him up. Bossing up when I'm blasting off that flow money. Fucking record deal, I'm already dropping food by the hundreds. From the spots with no heat, transformer, we a kick on.
What up, though? OG Kenny, O_G_Kenny at Retired from the Streets TV. Welcome back to Retired from the Streets TV, another installment of Let's Not Forget Friday. And I'm in Virginia with it. You know, this is probably gonna be my last week in Virginia. I might stretch like 2 stories. I want to do 3 stories in one a day, but then I start researching this one, and I'm like, it's gonna need a little more individualized time, and I'm gonna probably cover them other 2 next Friday, and that might be my official day. But I'm gonna cover other stories throughout, you know, in between there. So anywho, I'm down in Chesterfield County, Virginia, to be specifically October the 6th, 1990. I was a young buck back then, man. You gotta think I was going on 15. I'd been 15 in a few months. So, as me being a 15-year-old and the subject of this story, a 10-year-old, that's like not far in age range. You know what I'm saying? That was somebody I probably would have seen on the playground when I was running around or whatever, you know. But we down here, and we're covering one Charity Powers, who was 10 years old at the time, right? So, like any 10-year-old, the weekend come, it's fun time, you know. It's time to go to either the mall, right? Walmart, depending on what town you in, the local movie theater, the skating rink, the bowling alley. In this particular case, young Charity Powers' moms dropped her off to meet up with a group of friends, like most kids do on the weekend, right? You're 10 years old, so I really don't trust you around a bunch of people, but I got somebody designated to come get you later on. I'm going to drop you off with some friends. You're going to be in a secured environment, right, and indoors until that time come. And then you're not leaving out around wandering the streets. You're having fun like a kid's supposed to, right? So she say, let me drop my baby off with her friends, go on by my business, and then my designated driver or pickup person gonna pick her up later, and blah blah blah. So that's what she do. She dropped young 10-year-old Charity Powers off at the local skate land, and where was that skate land at? In Chester. So towards the end of the night, the party's over and everybody dispersing, and I guess they may have even offered her a ride. Hey, you need a ride? And she may have said, hey, no, I got somebody coming to get me, I'm okay. But the skate rink gets closer and closer to closing time, and there's no ride for Charity Powers. Nobody came to pick her up yet. So what ended up happening was she walks down the street to the local Hardee's. Y'all remember Hardee's back in the day? Hardee's was like Arby's. They had like the little roast beef type sandwiches and all that. So Hardee's was straight too. So she walked down the street to the local Hardee's to use the phone. I guess to, you know, check on her ride. Where y'all at? You know. So when she get there, she's thinking, cool, let me go up in here. And like a lot of establishments, they let little kids use the phone, especially in the 90s. You think this is 1990. I still had a minute phone and a beeper in 97. So just imagine, you know, in the 1990, everybody still had, like, caller ID was a big deal back then. If you had caller ID box in your household, that was a big deal. Because remember, phones didn't have caller ID. They had a little box. So the technology wasn't the same. So, of course, back then, a lot of kids used to go to the local stores or establishments, especially if they're, you know, in the area where they live at, and say, hey, can I use the phone to call my people, my mom or my daddy or whoever, right? So that's what she did. She reached out to her people, and I'm assuming she got no answer. I'm assuming she got no answer because she didn't leave the Hardee's alone, you know, but she wasn't with anybody who was supposed to come pick her up. You know, instead she met Everett Mueller, who obviously had plans on, you know, taking this young girl somewhere against somebody's authority, somebody who's in guardianship or parentingship over her, right? Because what person in their right mind would see a young person in a Hardee's restaurant approach them for one, and then lure them and say, hey, I give you a ride home. Right? And you know, little kids, 10 years old, my daughter ain't gonna buy it. My daughter like, my daughter know better. You know, I would like to say that. I would love to see one of those tests they do put against my kid and my nieces. Because I'm interested in seeing that. I can't never say never. I ain't one of them parents, right? But I can almost guarantee my daughter's going to be skeptical enough about that situation to say, nah, stranger danger. This look like a kidnap van. Like everything she sees look like a kidnap vehicle. If it got tinted windows, it's a kidnap vehicle. If you could fit in it, it's a kidnap vehicle. So to her, everything, Daddy, it was a kidnap car. You know what I mean? So she on point like that. That's all I'm saying. Now, nothing against young Charity Powers. Nothing against her family. She was a little girl. Come on now. She was a little girl, and you got a grown man who was in his 40s, right? Early 40s, who, you know, in her face telling her he got her, he gonna take her home, and ain't no telling how convincing he was. You understand what I'm saying? So he took her with him, right, to his place though, instead of her place, against her will. He sexually assaulted the young 10-year-old girl, and then proceeded to take her life. Right now, I haven't seen. If y'all find something that got more specific to what actually happened, then please get in the comments section. Through my research, I didn't really see what they said he actually did to her. I just know that a sexual assault occurred and her life ended that night, October the 8th, well, October the 6th rather, 1990. And immediately, almost immediately, when they started looking for young Charity Powers, Everett Mueller was a suspect. I'm talking about immediately. He lived in the area, and I guess he had a sketchy past, right? So it wasn't till 4 months later, in February the 9th, I want to say. Yeah, no, February the 8th, 1991, is when they found her remains. You know, and what's crazy about it is they find her remains in the rear of Everett Mueller's home in a shallow grave. Now you talking about a 10-year-old blonde hair, blue-eyed 5th grader, right? Who loves shopping. You know what I'm saying? Who loved talking on the phone with her friends, and who obviously enjoys skating. An average American, innocent 10-year-old girl. You understand what I'm saying? This the picture that, you know what I mean? And then it's like, yeah, Mueller, it wasn't long after that. It was 4 days after they found her remains that they went and arrested him. Come on now. You were already a suspect. And then they find this girl right behind your home in a shallow grave. So they arrested him and he confessed. He told him himself. I mean, that's good that he did, but he sure enough told him himself. He confessed to the crimes. And they subsequently convicted Everett Mueller. He tried to lie too. He actually tried to lie and say that, well, no, I didn't do this. I stumbled upon her remains while walking through the woods, and then I'm like, oh my God, I got felonies in my past, and I got, you know, stuff that I've done. I got blemishes, so they gonna think it's me. They gonna think it's me, so I buried her real quick. I got a shovel and buried her. Come on, man, who you talking to, bro? Type of weirdo make that type of lie up, you know? I usually say rest in peace, rest in power. No, suffer. You feel me in your afterlife, because excuse me, I've told y'all, if you watch any of my 140 videos, you will see multiple occasions where I speak upon how I despise individuals who victimize women, children, elderly, vulnerable people. You know, so it's not a sympathetic bone in my body towards Everett Mueller. You know, not at all. So he tried to lie about it, and it wasn't working. You know, it wasn't working at all. He even tried to appeal it later on, and get a stay. Well, actually, not to appeal it, but try to get a stay of execution. They wasn't buying it. It was 7-2 against him, and on September the 19th, right? September the 16th, 1999, at about 9:04 p.m., Everett Mueller was pronounced deceased after being after lethal injection doses. They say after the first round of chemicals got to coursing through his veins, he took you know, and then he was out of there. He appeared asleep, they said. Charity Powers, several of her family members got to witness this. Everett Mueller's brother, sister, and mother, they came to visit him earlier that day, I guess, to kind of say their farewells and offer some support. When asked that he wanted to make a last statement, he declined. And I understand. I wouldn't either. I wouldn't have nothing to say. You know? You lied about taking a child's life after sexually assaulting this child and whatnot. Come on, man. My daughter 10 years old. My daughter turned 10 this March. I got two nieces that are, three actually, because I have my daughter, I have my daughter, my sister's daughter, and my brother's BM, my brother BM. They were all pregnant at the same time, let's say that much, as well as my BM, my daughter's mom's twin sister had a baby that year too. So I include her into that batch of 10-year-olds who I call nieces, right? And they are 10 years old. They are real smart, real too smart sometimes when you want to bink, 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 right? But I'm looking at the potential they got. They talented, they TikTok experts, they social media experts. They know what time of day to post. They know all the little apps you can use. They put me hip to a bunch of stuff. They clowned me when I had like 12 subscribers. They like, dang, daddy, you only got 12 subscribers, but you only got 3 videos. So I was like, it's gonna be all right, baby. But like, I'm just, in all seriousness though, man, they young budding lives, and I couldn't imagine nobody victimizing them babies, man. I listen, I keep telling y'all, I don't know what I'd do in some situation like that. I might have been and lost it. You feel me? Everybody getting duct tape and zip ties. That's a fact. Because my baby, I don't have, this my purpose for living at this point. I'm 40-something, I'm 46 years old. I done seen and did so much. I done jacked off 10 years of my life in prison and another 5.5 or so years on papers, parole and whatnot, right? So, you talking about going back to 97. I got all the way up until 2017. So, we're talking about 20 years experience dealing with these people. But I still understand, that I don't care. That's a harsh thing to have to go through when you older, going back to prison and you've been there. But I for my babies, man, I don't have no understanding. I've been around some of these dudes and did time around some of them, man. So I have zero compassion or sympathy for the Everett Muellers of the world. I think all of them need a needle in their arm. All of them. I don't think, listen, once you take a child's innocence, there is nothing to me that you can do to redeem yourself. Nothing. And that's not one thing you can do to redeem yourself after you take a child's innocence. And then their life, come on, man. So I don't have no sympathy for Everett Mueller, nobody like him, man. May he burn in Hell. And for the family of Charity Powers, my condolences. I'm so sorry this happened to your baby. I'm so sorry this happened to your baby. I couldn't imagine. Her mother said to this day, she think about her baby every day. I lost a dog recently. I think about my dog every day. So just imagine my baby. Come on, man. And it's like, even though I don't discount my dog was my family too. It's my baby. I raised that dog, from a baby, from a little scared puppy to a ferocious, almost year-old cane corso. But it's like, these babies deserve better, man, than what people doing to them, what people allowing to doing to them. So protect your babies at all costs, man. I love y'all for tuning in to me, man. Rest in peace, young Charity Powers, because you thinking she's 5 years younger than me, or yeah, that's sad, man. For 4 years, something like that, she would have been 40, 2 years old, possibly a grandmother herself right now. That's tragic, man, and it touched me in a different way because my baby is that age. So I'm low key scared. You know what I'm saying, about her future and whatnot and what she got to go through. But at the same time, I know that I'm a praying man. I'm a man that's faith based, and I believe that God got my back. You know, she this is hers. Look, she made me this out of, look at her little cloth. Let me show you. She had a little African day at school, and this was her little skirt and whatnot. So she's like, Dad, you got to put this on today. That's it. I'm going to talk about you briefly today. You know, not about you, but it's going to tie in. So this is her little thing. So, yeah, she had me wearing this. I was feeling real kingly. You feel me? Shout out to my man 19 Keys. This was 19 Keys inspired. You feel me? The high vibrational brother, next level. Check 19 Keys out. The next level conversations that he got on Earn Your Leisure podcast. The brother goes deep, man. I mess with him. Yaki Hills, I believe, the brother. That's out of St. Louis that do the healing and the herbs and I mean not the herbs but the fruits and stuff. Them too. Anyway, man, I love y'all. Thanks for tuning in to another Let's Not Forget Friday. OG Kenny, O_G_Kenny, Everett from the Streets TV, and y'all know what time it is. I'm out.